LifeWave, please welcome back to stage your founder and CEO, David Schmidt.
Thank you. Thank you. So this year, for our 20th anniversary, we wanted to take a moment to remember two individuals that helped get the company started. One was Dr. Steve Holweger, incredible medical doctor, clinical nutritionist, who was with us from the early days of LifeWave. And then the second was Coach Richard Quick. So to tell you a quick story about this, when I was getting started back in 2002, I was looking to set up manufacturing, do clinical studies, figure out how to market the technology. And along the way, I met a number of different people interested in LifeWave. And one of them said, well, I'm really interested in supporting your company, but I don't know anything about medicine or science, so could I have a medical doctor interview you, ask you a bunch of questions, and let me see if this is all legitimate. So that person was Dr. Steve Holweger. So I spoke to Dr. Holweger for 3 hours, 2 nights in a row, and we quickly became friends. And he was so excited about the technology. He said, look, I know you're just getting started, but if you're able to get LifeWave off the ground, I would really like to be a part of the company. And we became friends, and he helped us in the early days of the company get started. And he was the one that helped to organize all of our clinical research in those very early days. And then this was before the network, but through the power of network marketing, Dr. Holweger wrote a paper about LifeWave. I had written a paper that was written for engineers. So he took that and he wrote a paper based on how other doctors might want to look at the technology. So he sent that paper to a doctor he knew in California, Dr. Carl Merritt. Dr. Merritt looked at it, he was super interested, and then he sent that information over to Coach Richard Quick at Stanford University. So later on, when I was thinking about how the company had gotten patches on Olympic athletes at Stanford University, I realized this all happened through the power of network marketing. And ultimately, that's what convinced me that networking was the right path to take. So about 3 weeks after Dr. Merritt had received this paper, I received a call from Coach Quick. I flew out to California. We were applying patches to his Stanford women's swim team. And after 3 weeks of using the energy patches, 6 out of the 8 swimmers had broke their personal lifetime best in their event. And one of the women, Tara Kirk, she was really amazing, brilliant woman. She broke the world record in the 50-meter breaststroke wearing the LifeWave energy patches. So we were well on our way at that point. And I think we're going to have a video queued up of Dr. Holweger and Richard Quick, but I don't know if you're ready to play that or not. If they are, then play it. If not, we'll keep moving.
It's interesting how I got involved with LifeWave. One of David's early investors approached me to check out the technology. At that time, David had a small lab and he had invented the technology, but he hadn't gone commercial with it. So I was asked to evaluate the technology. And my first impression was, I wasn't sure whether there was anything real here. So I interviewed David after I looked at his website he had at the time and made a list of questions on a yellow notebook pad. I spent about 4 hours or longer interviewing him, and then came back a few days later and talked to him again. And so we had about 6 hours worth of conversation over a few days. every question that I asked, he answered. And I asked him very detailed scientific questions. So I realized this man actually knew what he was talking about. So I was very impressed. And I wrote a paper that was my way of explaining to the technology from more of a biological point of view. And I sent this paper to a number of friends that are in medicine to get a review. And one of them was Dr. Carl Merritt out in California. And he shared it with Coach Richard Quick at Stanford. He was a coach of the Stanford women's swim team. And Richard's a very broad-minded, innovative personality. And so he talked to David. He evidently read the paper, contacted David, talked to him, and decided, well, let me try this on the women's swim team. And they had phenomenal results with this. And it was a real amazing breakthrough that we had a person at his level of excellence looking at our technology just right at the beginning.
We noticed the athletes had a higher level of accomplishment in training. They recovered better from practice session to practice session. And we noticed that they were doing better in school because they had more energy after practice. The past does not equal the future. You can change your future. You can change the future of others. The past does not equal the future. That which seems extraordinary today will be commonplace in the future. But you know what the great athlete does? And you know what the great company does? They say, if something can be done in 20 or 30 years in the future, why can't we do it today? That's what David Schmidt has done with Lifeway.
We tragically lost both of these great men because of various circumstances over time. And I can tell you, I miss both of them deeply. They were incredibly great people, incredibly great friends. And we've created an award. It's the Richard Quick Pursuit of Excellence Award to honor this incredible man, a 6-time United States Olympic coach. And Richard was the absolute symbol of integrity. He would never apply any kind of technology to his athletes if it would mean that they could possibly be harmed. He always was looking out for the health and safety of his athletes, yet he always wanted to stay on the cutting edge. And so he was extremely open-minded for a person that had achieved the pinnacle of success in this industry. He was as humble as you could imagine, very down-to-earth, fantastic personality, and out to make the world a better place. So we want to give this award to someone in our community who goes above and beyond the call of duty, somebody who represents integrity, someone who wants to look after the well-being of others and the well-being of their organization, and someone who represents the pinnacle of success and the pursuit of excellence. And this year's winner of the Richard Quick Pursuit of Excellence Award for 2024 is Dr. Stacie Holweger.
Not expecting that to be me at all. I am so honored to be here to represent you, David, the doctor, Richard Quick, everything that they have stood for, everything that you stand for, that all of you stand for in LifeWave, everything we do every day is to make this world a better place. And I'm beyond grateful to help as many of you as possible in this journey to help you achieve success. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Stacie Holweger. The next award that we have is the LifeWave Achievement Award. And you all set? Why don't you come out over here? You don't have to be just the flower girl.
I don't mind. I love flowers. Send them to me anytime.
This was a tough choice,
A very
but
tough choice.
ultimately, I'm so happy with the choice that we've made. You know, along the journey of LifeWave, I know I've met tens of thousands of people, and many of the times you meet new people, they come in, they say, wow, you know, we're going to do some great things, and then they kind of fall off and they don't do anything. And then there's other people that come in, they build the business, they reach a certain level of success, and then they grew great. But then every once in a while, you meet that incredibly special person that is there through thick and thin. That no matter how difficult times get, they're there, building the business, committed, bright, positive, brainstorming, constantly thinking of new ideas, traveling all over the world to build the business. And this gentleman has done all of that and so much more. And at 80 years old, he's still going strong. And yesterday I saw him in the lobby, and I said, how did you like the meeting the other day? And he came over to me and gave me a hug, and he had tears in his eyes, and he said, this is incredible. I'm so excited about building the business. Not even a thought that, I may, you know, retire, lay back a little bit, I made a ton of money. None of that. I'm so excited about getting out there, building the business, making the world a better place with you. And I have such a deep level of gratitude for him, because when things were really tough, he was there building the business. And I honestly believe that it wasn't for his effort and a few others that we may not have made it through that really tough time that we had back in 2007. So with gratitude, appreciation, and love, please welcome to the stage Chuck Michael.
Wow, 81 years old and you're skiing like a pro. How do you do it?
LifeWave X39.
Chuck Michael!
Congratulations.
Chuck, congratulations.
Nice one.
Come on over, Chuck.
Oh my gosh, look at this crowd. Whoa. I was reflecting that when we started, I went to Atlanta, and 20 years ago, as a matter of fact. And David was going to come out to Long Beach. I was in Newport Beach, and he was in Atlanta. But he had to come out to be with Richard Quick at the Olympic trials at the Olympic pool in Long Beach. And when I first went to meet David, it were those associations that really got my attention. In the room, there was Richard Quick, who's coached 4 U.S. Olympic swim teams, head coach of Stanford. And I had lunch with Richard Quick, and I said, Richard, you know, is this placebo? He said, well, he said, Chuck, now Richard is not a salesman, he's a swim coach of a very high caliber. He said, well, Chuck, he said, I don't know, but I've got my swimmers breaking their all-time best records in practice with the patches on. And, you know, as a businessman, that got my attention. So I knew right there that I was going to go back to California as a one-man army, because there was only 3 of us, and start to build. So I came back, and David came out 2 weeks later to be at the Olympic swimming pool in Long Beach, and I brought 12 of my buddies. We caravaned from Newport up to Long Beach, and of the 12 that were there, 3, great going if you look at the odds, 3 decided to become reps. Of course, it was a big commitment. I think it was $95 back then. So I had 3 of my buddies, and then David came back in about 2 months, and we had 50 in the room at the hotel. At the end of the year, when David came back, we had 1,800. So, you know, it just shows you the power of a great product and the leadership that David's provided. But the reality is, as you know, that you really only succeed in life with the people you know. You know, you've got to have that special contact and that special friend, that special relative. And that happened to me. And I have great news tonight that special contact is here, and it's all of you. Thank you.
Nice.